Well, the last week was somewhat eventful, I guess. Um, Probably the most important outcome was the booking of my next lung surgery. If you recall, I just had one about a little over a month ago that basically removed the lower lobe of 3 in my right lung, and now they will be removing one of 2, the lower lobe of my right lung. So, in the end, the actual lung mass that I will have is going to be significantly less, maybe even as much as half of what it used to be. There was a time when a surgery like this would have been near catastrophic. It would have been a pretty freaking big deal. Is it now? I don't know. This will be my 3rd major surgery resulting from this illness. The first 2, first one was abdominal, and then, of course, my recent lung surgery. The technology has advanced a fair bit. Yeah, there was some pain and discomfort, of course. There has to be. But certainly I feel pretty good right now. I'm able to do very significant walks. A bit winded after it, but gets a bit better every day. But what happens when I lose more of my lung mass? Anyways, I got a bit of an answer yesterday, and so I had something called a pulmonary fitness test, which is kind of required before they dive into your lungs. And that test basically measures a bunch of things, including the actual volume of air that your lungs are able to hold, and then your ability to actually use all that air and to force it out. And so I got my data back from these tests, and all indications are there's no issue, and the surgery will go ahead. So the more interesting thing about all of this is when I compare my lung performance before any surgery, meaning my normal full capacity, and what it is now after losing all that lung mass. And as it turns out, normally before the surgery, I was about 25% higher than what the normal population might be. And so I guess that was good. I had a pretty good start. And now following the surgery, I'm down 20%. So what that means is even with my lung loss, I'm still slightly above normal. So I take that as good news, because if you extrapolate that reduction to past the second surgery, I might get away with just being modestly below normal, just a bit below normal, and not like losing half my breathing capacity. So I guess that's something to be happy about. It's still not a great deal of fun in any sense, but I'm kind of happy if I reflect on why I think that is. There was a time many years ago when I was fairly fit, and in fact there was a time when I had big dreams of running marathons and things, and I worked pretty hard at it. And in fact, about 9 years ago, when my running was at its peak, in my first major race, which was a half marathon, that's 21 kilometers, I clocked 1 hour 47 minutes. Now, certainly nothing spectacular in the global scheme of things, but for a 52-year-old guy back then, wasn't too bad. And I absolutely peaked in a 10K race where I clocked 45 minutes. I was pretty proud of that, again, for a guy my age, and that in my regional race put me in 3rd in my age category. So I was actually quite happy with that. But the more significant thing now is perhaps that level of intensity and commitment to something like running really is now paying off. So I kind of put this into the category of things that are just good to do, and we all kind of know it, even though most of us did an awful lot of things that weren't good for us in our younger years. We also had a pretty clear sense of what was good for us, and things like fitness, and let's face it, things you should eat, things you should not consume in large volumes often. All of those things we know. We just chose to not act on that knowledge. And of course, at least with me, perhaps there's some connection to what's happening now. But in any case, reflecting on my past fitness, but also taking some of the knowledge of things that are good for us, moving forward with it, and certainly within issues of diet, stress management, sleep habits, and even just overall coming to peace with a whole bunch of things. That's been part of our routine for the past couple of years, including today. So as you can see, it's not a bad day, but you'll see snow around us. Well, winter's back after a brief flirtatious encounter with false spring last week. It's about 0 degrees, light snow, and I'm about to do something really good, which is visit my mom. She actually lives in the neighborhood. I can walk there. Got some treats for her and some Korean language newspapers. I do this a few times a week for no other reason than I should do it. And this is part of my approach to a lot of things these days. So I'm going to end with a reference to a particular song in a movie that I have some fondness for, Sound of Music. And in it there is a song, not one of the more famous ones, but it's called Something Good. And there is a set of lyrics in there. Nothing comes from nothing. Nothing ever should. Because somewhere in my youth or childhood, I must have done something good. And the fact that I will hopefully come out of my upcoming lung surgery with not catastrophic results, I think that's something good and something to derive some optimism from. So with that, wish me luck, and I will see you again soon.